Hey everyone. Um, so I just got done recording a brand new podcast episode with my good friend Kale, and I wanted to make a follow-up sort of video to something. If you don't know, also this is the recording studio. This is where I record most every single one of my podcasts because it's the most quiet space in the house, and it's kind of a vibe, honestly. Studio closet. Yeah. Anyways, I did want to talk today about a few different things. A good book I've been reading and what I've grasped from that. Okay, so the first book that I wanted to talk about is called The Five Masculine Instincts. I'm going to throw an image of it up here on the screen. The Five Masculine Instincts is basically, it's a very short book, but it's five stories from the Bible and specific characters in the Bible, and it breaks down exactly what makes them who they are and how that relates to masculinity in Christ, like biblical masculinity, right? Uh, yeah, there's a lot you can learn from it, and it's a really good book, and I would highly recommend it, and it's really good. I also wanted to talk today about what I've realized about masculinity and Christianity and all that. I really need to get better. I really do. I'm not exactly the best Christian, and I've gone on record saying that, specifically in my first video that I made. The first like podcast sort of video that I made. Which if you haven't seen that, I'll throw a little title card up here on the screen, and you can go and watch that. But I did kind of just want to talk about that for a minute. Like, what is masculinity in a sense? So, I personally believe that masculinity is what makes us a man. And I feel like we can only have that truly through the power of Christ himself. We look at Christ as an example of how to be masculine in a sense. It's not what a lot of people would think. You know, you think you gotta be like strong and stand your ground and all that. And Jesus was both of those things. But there's also a lot of things that get overlooked, in my opinion. And one of the biggest ones is caring for others. I've seen a lot of hate and a lot of sorrow and a lot of name calling and this and that and unfound claims recently, just in the past week. And I've noticed it a lot more as time goes on. And we can't be doing that as a society. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. So my call to action for you guys, like from me to you guys, is to be masculine in Christ. But what does that look like exactly? Be strong, not entirely physically. I think that's looking too hard into it. But being physically strong is definitely a good thing. And it's definitely a trait of both masculinity and, I would argue, femininity as well. The other side of it is love. So love is a big deal to me. I think we need to be loving of others, caring for each other, all of those things. And I think that can only be accomplished through what the Bible has modeled for us in terms of love and loving others and caring for one another and whatnot. So I do think that that is something that needs to happen more, not only in the Christian community, but across the world as well. If you didn't watch the episode, which not a lot of people did, which is completely fine, of me and Avian talking about just kind of like how things are right now, he brought up that if you look throughout history, before it gets better, it ultimately gets worse, which is, I'm saying that like it's a completely unknown thing. It is not. I think of like that one Star Wars, like bad lip reading song where they say, before it gets better, it's getting worse. And that stuck with me. I know it's such a weird thing to even bring up, but it stuck with me. because it's true. Before things get better, they get worse. He even brought up that's what they tell people with ammonia. That's what they tell people with ammonia, is that before it's going to get better, it's ultimately going to get worse. And if you look throughout history, not only does history repeat itself, but it repeats itself in that sense as well. So, yeah, my word of encouragement for today is just be strong, be patient, and things will get better. I promise you. That is my promise to you all, is that eventually things will be better. Whether that's at Christ's return or even before, things will get better. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Have a good day, guys. Happy Sunday.